Welcome to A Course in Miracles 365, Awakening to Love. I'm your host, Cindy Garza, and as you can see, I am not alone today.
You are not. You are never alone.
None of us is ever alone, and we're simply proving it right here. Now, joining me as my very special and spontaneous guest is my beautiful wife, Cindy Garza, who you may remember was on this live stream a few months ago. And she is back to tell her story of real world forgiveness according to the principles of A Course in Miracles. So if you are just tuning in here, Cindy has been studying the Course for several years, and I can vouch for her that it has changed her life amazingly for the better. And well, I'm very happy to have her right here. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Well, this is...
I was just going to say, I love talking about A Course in Miracles. So
yeah. Well, and as you all know, I also love talking about A Course in Miracles, but it's very cool to have other people on the show. That's why I've invited some guests on that you've seen, and it's why it's why I do this, because it's fun to see some real world examples of how this extraordinary self-study curriculum impacts lives. That's the fun part here. So Cindy and I have been talking. I mean, we're married.
Yes, we talk all the time, often about A Course in Miracles.
We do.
Always in the first couple hours of the day, and then it carries throughout the day.
Yes, it's part of our morning ritual, which today was poolside. We're in Phoenix, Arizona, where the temperature is supposed to be 100 degrees Fahrenheit today. So it's about 37 and change Celsius. Nice and warm. It's not even summertime yet, which is beautiful. But we often talk about A Course in Miracles, and we've been talking about this very live stream for quite a while as far as the subject matter. And what we're talking about is a real world example of forgiveness. And this was Cindy's idea to discuss, and I think it's great. So take it away.
Yeah, well, I think it's great too, because when you really sit back and you talk about it, which is why I love our discussions. That's one of the reasons I love that you do this, because even though people are not getting to have you side by side and talk with you about it the way I get to, if they listen to you, they can think about it and they can kind of go through the thoughts in their mind about, how it's affected their life when they really start studying the Course. Excuse me. And there's been so many dramatic changes, and I was really trying to think about how to approach this today, because I really want it to impact people. I want to encourage people to pick up that book, order the book, and just see what will happen in your life because of it. Because I watched my husband study the Course for 5 years before I picked it up. I was afraid. Fear is one of the most important parts of the studies of A Course in Miracles, is facing that fear and going, oh, wait a minute, it has no power. Fear is weak. Fear is our strongest weakness, is fear. And that was what was controlling my life, was my fears. I mean, wow. I think about how much lighter my heart is now in my life, because I realized that, and I started accepting the power I had given to fear in my life. And in every aspect of my life, fear was driving it. And so when I started embracing and finally just thought, okay, why not start? I'm watching him change. I'm watching his life evolve, him learning how to forgive and let go of things. And I clung. I'm a clinger. I was such a clinger to my fear and all the things I feared and allowed to hold me back in my life. I was such a clinger to that. And I watched you. And I think that was such a huge part of why I just finally said to myself, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. And, in the Course, it talks about how there's going to be days, like there's a workbook section that you work through. There's a workbook section. There's just a solid text section. There's other parts to the book. I like the combined book, that edition that has all parts in it because
Yeah.
I can work through all the parts. And in the workbook, it talks about it's set up to be a 1 year study, 365 days. But it talks about, if you need to just stay in one for a while and work through it, then that's fine. That's fine. And so actually that was how I started. I started because of the fear of overcommitting myself and thinking I would be overwhelmed. I was afraid of that. I was afraid that by committing to doing the course, it would overwhelm me and I would fail, fear of failure. And so I was afraid of that in my own spirituality.
Yeah.
So I decided, okay, it's okay. I can do it as long as I don't have to stick to that once a day thing. Okay. And then I started realizing how much I loved it and so during the first, I don't know, 3-4 months of the course, 5 months of the course, I did that. I took longer. I took a period of time to get through. I would sit with it, which is totally fine, whether you want to or not. It doesn't matter. There's nothing wrong with it. But for me, it was my excuse. It was my ability to, I was fearing it and I was clinging to that. And so when I was able to just kind of go with it for a while, then I realized that, I'm now doing this because I want to. I'm now learning how to forgive people. I'm now learning how to have more love and light and forgiveness of myself in my life. I'm now learning how to share that with others and not judge myself all the time. So that was amazing. That was an amazing shift in the whole thing. And I believe it took me about 1.5 years to go through the workbook the first time. And the shifts and changes that started happening in my life through that were amazing. And it was me waking up. It was like I can see myself waking up and coming out, and like the flower petals just opening up, and now me being able to just shine as who I am. I'm still growing and learning and recognizing fear and then releasing it, letting go, learning how to forgive. And forgiveness has been such a huge part. I remember thinking about forgiveness when I first started studying the course, and forgiveness was like, how do you forgive? How do you get it out of your head that you're angry at someone for long periods of time in your life? And how do you let that go and just shower them with love and let it go?
Yeah.
And it took time. That is what we have. That's our gift. God has given us this gift of time. And that gift is what made it possible for me to start to learn how to forgive and to practice it. And some of the people that I held the biggest, longest, nastiest, gnarliest grudges against in my life, I've forgiven them. They don't hold that power over me. That negative, fearful energy doesn't hold power over me anymore. And I'm free from that. That's a huge thing.
Yes.
That's a huge thing in my personal life as well as business.
Yeah, it's a huge thing. And I'm going to encourage you to say a little bit more about that, because this is something that really, really works. Forgiveness, as it's presented in A Course in Miracles, really does have a profound impact on your life. So yeah, would you tell us a little bit more about that forgiveness?
Oh man, yes. I really, when you're working through the course and you start learning about forgiveness, and it starts having you do um, workbook lessons on forgiveness. Of course, the biggest, hairiest, gnarliest needs are what rear their ugly heads, right? The people in your life who you gave the most power away to in your lifetime thus far is who are flooded into your mind and who you put all of your focus on forgiving and learning how to forgive them and how to just let it go in your heart. But I then you would see, it's like it just makes you, there's times when in that forgiveness element where it just makes you keep coming up with people to work on. And these people start popping into your head. It's part of the process, right?
Oh, yeah.
Not that those big gnarly ones aren't still there, because forgiveness doesn't just like, oh, I'm going to forgive this person. You're forgiven. It's over. It's like, heck no. It takes so much more work than that. And it is so worth the effort, because I have really, it's kind of like gleaning off of those experiences with those people who really took over my mind and my heart as far as holding it and not letting me be free, because I allowed that, and learning how to let that go, and then recognizing these other people in my past that I kind of clung to something with judgment, fear, um, feeling like they'd done me wrong. And I mean, that's what it's all about. That's why we feel that fear. And recognizing that, and then realizing, you know what? Holding on to that isn't not helping any of us. We're all in pain because of it, and it's holding all of us back. And I personally have the power to change all of that, and set us all free from that fear and from that clinging negative energy.
Mhm.
And so I started recognizing this happening in my life, and I would I would push myself to do things. Social media has been, I mean, it has been a game changer in my life. I'm not going to lie. Facebook doesn't love me for some reason. They see some words that I've put on Facebook and they think I'm being a mean person. And so it's kind of pushed me away a couple of times. But I keep persevering. I keep pushing out the love and light, and sharing that, and not being so sarcastic with my words, because it doesn't like sarcasm very much. And so I'm learning that, and I'm forgiving Facebook for that, because it holds the key to me touching so many lives with the gifts that I have to give. And we all have such amazing gifts. And I started offering that gift to people from my past whom I held grudges against, and they could have been the most minor grudges ever, or they could have been big ones. It doesn't matter. There was this. It's like, when you have a negative, any kind of a negative feeling, and this was something in one of my lessons the other day. It was like any kind of negative feeling that does not have to do with just love and light in your life is fear based. It's your ego jumping in and saying, "Oh no, you're not good enough. Hold back from that." And you're set, and you're pouring that into other people because you're holding back instead of giving them love and light and joy and support and kindness. You're just holding back. And so they're stuck, and they're not getting to become unstuck, because neither are you. You're not becoming unstuck. But when you just move into that and you put it out there no matter what, which is how the course also talks, it talks about, you're going to feel really uncomfortable about some of these lessons. They're not going to feel natural. They're not going to, you might just totally resist them, but just do it. Just trust. And I have worked through that trust. I have used it. I have embraced it. And the things that have happened in my life since I started studying the course 3 years ago, the people, the relationships that I have created, you know, I'm friends with people on Facebook that I don't even know, never met them. But if I can touch their life and improve their life in some way,
Yeah.
whether it is just personally or in my business, then I'm winning. We're all winning. And that is what I have discovered, is like, that's my job. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to shine the light, and whoever can see it is going to benefit from it in whatever way that is. It has benefited me greatly in my business, because I let go of all these fears that held me back over the years. And so now I am embracing that love and light and forgiveness, whether it was forgiveness of myself for holding myself back, or out of fear of whatever it was. I used to say I was shy because I thought that it was shyness, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't shyness, it was lack of self-confidence. I don't know what shy is. Maybe that is shy. I don't know.
You're not shy.
I'm not shy. I love people.
She's not shy.
I love people. I love talking to people. I love starting conversations.
Yeah.
I love learning about people. That's what I love the most.
Mhm.
And if during that process I can help them to move forward, then, I'm a health and wellness coach. I help people transform their lives. That's what I do for a living. And it brings me so much joy. And I think it is so tightly connected to ACIM. It's like, if we can't be physically healthy in our bodies, it's very, very difficult to become spiritually healthy, because we're so connected to the pain and the self-doubt, and we're not we're not honoring this amazing temple that we get to hang out in during this lifetime. And the pain and the discomfort and all of that is holding us back from being able to shine brightly. And so, I feel like my job, my career of choice as a health and wellness coach has given me the opportunity to help people start from where they feel really crappy and they don't want to do anything to improve their life, to where they get to wake up like I have and start to experience more of life, show up in their life differently for their family, for their friends, their kids, their best friend, whoever it is. They show up differently. Their relationships blossom. I see marriages just blossom, and people experience that, what, they're not willing to live in that negative place anymore. They want more for their life. And then they're able to take it from just becoming physically healthy to a whole nother level, which is, what I feel like I get to do,
Mhm.
which is amazing.
Yeah, and say some more a little bit about what you're doing and how people can get a hold of you if they'd like more information about transforming the way you just described.
Absolutely. Well, Facebook Messenger. You can always get me on Facebook Messenger. I'm also on Instagram at getting healthy with Cindy on Instagram, and just Cindy Garza on Facebook, private message. I both coach clients myself to get healthy, and then I also mentor coaches. So part of our program is that people can become coaches of the program. Sometimes people become coaches of the program at the same time they become clients of the program. Sometimes they like to experience a little bit and start to feel things open up for them. And then they want to bring people along because it's an amazing, amazing program. We don't just focus on weight loss. It's not a diet program. It is a fully encompassing health, nutritional, mindset, um, just full type of a program where we talk about all parts of life, and we have amazing tools that help you like crack open those fears and say, just let them go. And because they hold us back in all parts of our life.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, so that's what I get to do.
Yeah, yeah, and she's good at it, I have to say, and loves it.
I do.
And we will put the links to Cindy's social media here in the comments thread. So I want to ask you one other question about forgiveness, because you said something a couple of times that I want to return to because it's very, very powerful.
Okay.
And you mentioned by your forgiving, you mentioned liberating everyone else. So would you say some more about that? How did your
Oh,
forgiveness open them up?
oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Because, well, there was always this connection. I owned a women's health club for 21 years.
Mhm.
And I was the owner, I was the boss of the staff, I was the, leader of the organization there, that but was very limiting. And that was how I spent so much time in my life. It was me being the boss and everyone else being just kind of doing their thing under my business. Whereas now, since I embraced this different way of coaching people and working with people, this different
Yeah.
program that I work with, I have been able to open up to a whole different level of connection with people and awakening them, whether they have come on with me as a client and helping them get healthy in their program, or if they have come on with me in coaching, I'm able to help them to now start busting through their fears
Mhm.
and help them to understand how their fears are holding them back, help them to understand how their fears are holding their families back, their friends, all the different things. And people's lives, it's just like the snowball effect of amazing goodness that starts happening when they embrace all parts, when they embrace the challenges each week when we talk. They embrace a challenge that's going to bust them free. It doesn't matter if it's a tiny challenge or a huge challenge, because whatever it is, if that challenge is there and they never break through it, they never move through that, they can never really move to the next level of feeling amazing and awakened and empowered.
Yeah. Yeah, and it really is a process, isn't it, with stages and steps.
Yeah,
And well, everyone there in spirituality, we say start where you are. So
absolutely.
wherever you are, there is a place where you can go and get the information and the help that you may need. So this is so much fun. I want to take a minute and say hello to people that are joining us here on the live. And if you have specific questions for Cindy, feel welcome to type them right here in the comment thread. If we don't get to them right now on the live, we'll get to them on the replay, because we'll both be checking these comment threads throughout the day. So we will catch you on that. So
Absolutely.
yes, yeah, Lisa Pacinello, hello, how are you? And Eve, hi, Christy, thank you all for tuning in. If you all have questions specifically for Cindy or for me, whether it's related to her work, whether it's related to A Course in Miracles or spirituality in general, definitely please let us know. And I'm gonna steal your phone here and bring up the other comment thread, because we've got two different threads going at once here. And I'm gonna turn the volume down. All right, so here we go. We've got some more comments. Jackie, hi, how are you? Yeah, and forgiving yourself. Yeah, forgiving yourself is really, really important.
Huge.
Yeah, say some more about that.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so afraid. I was so afraid of so many things. And I also was then angry at myself for letting those things hold me back. And so, yeah, the forgiveness of myself was a huge part of that. And without it, I never would have gone where I've gone. I would not be where I'm at, I guess is what I should say. I'm going where I'm at right now, and it's amazing. It's amazing. I have amazing partners that I'm working with that are making a huge impact. I guess that's another thing too. That's the impact it's made. It's not just me. It's like there are so many people from my past who have joined with me in my business, who are making this enormous impact on people in their life now. I mean, I'm just like, it's amazing. Yeah. It's exciting. It's wonderful. And they're not afraid because I'm not showing up afraid. And I think that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And that's just it. It matters how we show up. So if we show up as unafraid, then that has a ripple effect. And one of the things that is emphasized in the course that we certainly agree with is that you're always teaching, whether you hold yourself out as a teacher or an instructor or not. How you show up in the world has a direct impact on everyone else. And Desiree, hi, how are you? I want to say hello. And yes, Cindy has been such a positive impact for 15 years. Yeah, in your case, right? Yes, and I'm right here to see all of the tremendous growth, which I love. So we will put Cindy's social media information here in the comments thread, and feel welcome to leave questions or comments for us either here on Enlightened World Network or on my personal Facebook page. It's streaming to both locations. And this has been a lot of fun to have you all join us. And it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. And thank you for joining me.
It's been a pleasure to be here. Love it. I love it. Love it. And if you can, you know, if you don't know anything about A Course in Miracles and you want to explore it, just order yourself the book, A Course in Miracles. No, there's not an author on it. Just order the book and let it start, melting into your life. It will reach out into all parts of your life. It will set you free from so many things that you have no idea that you even allow.
Yeah.
And it will bring other things into your life. That's the thing. It's like everything that's happened is a direct result of my working through the Course in Miracles. So many things have come into my life to take me to another level of understanding, of education, of mentorship, and just teamwork with people, so that I can make a bigger impact, so that I become more knowledgeable. I have amazing people. Desiree's one of them that I'm now partnering with in my life, in my career, and it's awesome. And we worked together many years ago. So
yeah, and for those of you who have the book and it's just sitting on a shelf unopened,
open that sucker up.
Exactly.
Just
Maybe
do it.
today is the invitation you're getting to open that up. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. This has been special guest Cindy Garza right here on A Course in Miracles 365, and we'll see you back here